automated nuclear missile defense system has suddenly entered into launch mode, and you are the only one who can stop it. Escape Experience Chattanooga. Your team has just been infected with a deadly virus. Your only hope? There, in an abandoned farmhouse. Escape Experience Chattanooga. Handcuffed in a maximum security prison, you have an hour to flee. Escape Experience Chattanooga. These escape scenarios and more at Chattanooga's best escape room game and team building platform. Call now. Slots are limited. Register online at escapeexperience.com/Chattanooga. Escape Experience Chattanooga.
For years, you have heard these words: cash, 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 and more cash. Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks, even 2 or 3% at best? Well, don't miss out. Stop by Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds at 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Buy American. Buy now. Gold is on the rise. Certified U.S. Gold American Eagle coins at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on NoogaRadio 92.7 FM.
Well, normally you'd be hearing Cindy with Cindy's Choice with that theme music, but I am the ugly version of Cindy's Choice, at least for tonight. She is off on assignment, and with me is Daxton Balcomer.
Yeah, Bockelman. Yeah,
Bockelman. All right, I'm close.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No
and
worries.
Chris Murphy from Chattanooga Paddleboards joining us here in segment number 2. I'm your host, Sam Jordan, and normally I'm on Monday through Thursday with Sports Talk with Sam Jordan. Want to remind you, don't forget tomorrow night, beginning at 6:45, we'll have Chattanooga Eagles football here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. Myself, along with Keon Rose, will be bringing you that broadcast live from Chattanooga Central High School. They'll be taking on the Dalton Danger. This is outside football. It will be fun. And if you've kind of missed football since the Super Bowl, well, here's your chance to check out 2 good regional teams in action tomorrow. And we'll have that for you. Then Sunday afternoon, second week of NASCAR racing action here on your NASCAR racing station with the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Airtime 1 o'clock here on Nooga Radio. Well, Daxton, we've had a good conversation. Even though Cindy's now not with us, we can start talking about her a little bit more. But no, I'm just kidding. Cindy's a great gal. One of the first friends that I found since moving here to the area. Yeah. But the one thing that really amazes me, and we kind of talked a little bit about this, is how much variety that there is in the Tennessee Valley area for outdoors related events. I mean, it's not just fishing. It's not just, hiking or biking or anything like that. I mean, there's a lot of different things for people to do. And that's what makes this area very amazing and completely and fun to be at.
Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is that, I moved here 9 years ago and just seeing the growth of the city and the potential that literally has just fabricated over the last 9 years into all these outdoor events and getting people outdoors and this community really being the driving force behind it has just been absolutely amazing. I think from events like the Chattajack and from Swim the Suck and just the Ironman now coming on board and really it's just it just keeps building and building and building. And really, like we were talking last segment, the sports industry, we have world-class kayakers that are from the area, gold medalist Joe Jacoby, so, I mean, it really does take a different form of sports, but really it does tie it all in together.
And one of the things also that people can relate to, the outdoors community and with the various activities that we have to offer here in the area really helps drive the economy quite a bit. We've added, several hotels, into the downtown area and in the surrounding areas. We're seeing more and more national franchises move into the Chattanooga area because they see Chattanooga is on a huge growth spurt. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that have said in the last 5 to 10 years, we have just exploded
Right.
as far as the growth of the area and the types of businesses that we have in the area. And part of that is due to the outdoor community, which that is huge.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to the Tennessee River Keeper, who's a part of the Watershed Alliance. And then it goes to people like North Chick Creek Conservancy, people that are really kind of taking hold of some land and property and in waterways and really trying to clean them up so that we do have wonderful businesses like Chris Murphy's Chattanooga Paddleboard Company coming in and being able to offer tours and getting people in that form and fashion on that beautiful gorge and within the Tennessee River and waterways.
Yeah, we're very thankful for everyone else out there that contributes to help cleaning the river. Actually, the trails themselves. You were talking last segment. I was eavesdropping. The paddleboarders use trails too. We can inflate paddleboards, deflate them, put them on our backpack, hike into a random spot, and just float away where it would be otherwise impossible to get to.
How big is the paddleboarding business becoming?
Pretty big worldwide, honestly. But locally, we now have multiple outfitters that are willing to rent paddle boards, if not take you on trips and specific tours. I'm just one of the few.
Now, it is a growing sport, and I'm assuming that it got its start on the West Coast. I'm assuming.
If I'm not mistaken, it was originally started out in Hawaii, where the surfers would like to race themselves, and they decided when there wasn't surf to see how far they could go, and then it became, a contest. And so then one person wanted to beat the next person. So then they took their surfboards and kind of shaped them a little differently and kind of just went on like that.
All right. And I was looking here, at your card, where it's got a picture of about 6 individuals that are on paddle boards and everything. And for someone my size, I mean, I don't see too many people that are on a paddleboard or anything, but it looks like it can be a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. It's a blast. We just got off the river today. A lot of people, we've been thankful this weather has finally gotten to a kind of a tipping point where if you're brave enough and willing to give it a shot, you're going to be really rewarded with a beautiful day. And
where exactly do you go, Chris? We can find you at Chattanooga Paddleboards at Gmail and call a phone number 423-702-1422. Where exactly can folks meet you and find you and all that kind of stuff?
The running joke is you just go down to the river and you call my name 3 times and I magically appear. It's a mobile business, so we go everywhere that there's water, and then where everyone wants to go, we'll pretty much take them in this town. We have safety standards that we hold to. So if it's certain areas of the river are unsafe or untravelable or creeks or anything else, we will not allow people to go in those, or at least not caution them about it if we feel concerned about it. But other than that, everywhere.
Awesome.
But is there like a particular path that you try to have a starting point and an end point, or is it kind of limitless?
It's really limitless in this town. One of my favorite things to do is to drop people off at Chickamauga Dam.
Yes.
And then they paddle all the way back down to Coolidge.
Oh, cool.
It's about a 6 mile paddle, and you have the river at your back. On a nice day, it can take 2 to 3 hours, and it's just relaxing. You get to see all of downtown by water, which is kind of rare. It's just really a beautiful.
What gave you the idea for doing this? I mean, I'm assuming you're like one of the first here in the area.
I don't think I was the first, but it's funny enough. The idea of it came as after I left TVA, my job at TVA. I was trying to find something to do, and I was getting really bored in the summer. It was the summer of 2013, and I happened to have a bunch of paddle boards. And so I started bribing my friends and bought a couple extra ones on Craigslist and bribing my friends because I wanted to go on the water. And they just started going with me.
Awesome.
And then a couple times into doing that, people started paying me, in food or in drinks or whatever. And then
the light bulb went on.
Yeah. And well, I had a friend in a church group say, "Hey, could we take these out? We'll give you cash." Well, really? Well, so it just kind of built from there.
Okay. So you've been doing this since 2013. What do you feel are some of the nuances that makes you different compared to other paddleboard companies?
I think the fact that we are one of the only completely mobile outfitters that we can meet you anywhere in the greater Chattanooga area. If you have a lake or a private pond or anything else, and if it's not too difficult for us to get there and get the trailer or get the boards there, we're happy to take it to you.
Awesome. So, Chris, as far as a beginner, do you kind of help them along the way to enjoy these tours so that they're having a really great time, and kind of give them the rundown of the history of the Tennessee and kind of what I guess I would get out of signing up with you as far as a great time?
I would love to talk about all the things, but I don't consider myself an expert, so I try to say with reserve, this is what I think this is, and the story behind this.
Awesome.
And this, but I always disclaimer it, this is what I learned on Wikipedia. So
well, and I'm sure plus working for TVA, you probably gained a lot of information through that channel, of course, which is awesome to have is that knowledge, I think, on the river, to gain that history and that knowledge that Chris has, to move forward and to enjoy the experience of this historic scenic city, and the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous from water. I mean, we're ramping up our season, so we're starting March. I think 14th is our first Wednesday night social paddle, and everyone's always invited. We just meet at Coolidge Park. Come paddleboard, come kayak, canoe. We've even had some people swim out there because they're
And do you do that again on Wednesday nights at about what time?
6 p.m. every Wednesday. And we'll have a group of, depending on the weather, we have stalwarts that'll show up regardless. So a minimum of 10, and we've had upwards of like 80 people.
Oh wow!
It's been a huge. Some went on the peak summer weeks. It's just a big party on the water.
What seems to be one of the most common responses that you get from individuals that have never done it before and they try it out? What do you normally hear as a common response to paddleboarding?
That was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Really?
Oh,
yeah. As long as you have the right equipment, and we really strive to match people up with gear that'll work for them in most situations. As long as you have that right equipment, it should be relatively easy. There shouldn't be a lot of strain, and there could be other compounding conditions like wind or river current, but on the whole, it's usually pretty easy and pretty relaxing, quite frankly.
Now, typically, what age range do you normally see your customers?
Well, my youngest customer is around my daughter's age, which I'd say about 8.
Okay,
cool.
We've had infants on the water, and we all carry specialized life jackets and things like that for them. But upwards of, I paddle and I race paddle with gentlemen, I think, into his 60s, if not, yeah.
Wow.
So, easily done,
Now, we've talked about the good things, but what are some of the common risks that are involved for someone to consider that, you upfront with them?
The season hasn't started, so I don't have my safety spiel on the tip of my tongue. I could give it to you, the whole this and this and this and this. Biggest things people don't consider, water. You'd be surprised. People come and they show up in like jeans and a t-shirt, and you just, they think it's an on-water sport that you're not going to get wet in. And I'm not really sure where that idea came from, but we have a lot of people come in and, they don't really look the part. It's good to always have outdoor clothing on. I'm sure you could, I could send them to REI and say, hey, they could get them already set up. And, but we see a lot of people come just not dressed for the activity.
So what should be the normal attire for something like this?
Depending on the weather, whatever you feel comfortable in the weather, and most importantly, something that you're comfortable with getting wet.
Okay.
Not to say that you're going to go in the water, but accidents do happen. I fall in more times than I can count, quite frankly. And I've learned over numerous occasions and iterations that certain fabrics are much more quick drying than your standard cotton t-shirt that's going to stick to you. And then,
Well, and we're in this,
we're
in this beautiful weather, and I think yet the water temperature is yet to kind of elevate with that. I think that we're still hanging around in the low 50s in the water temperature, and so it does run a slight risk, of hypothermia and things like that, especially with wind blowing on you. But again, these temperatures are so deceiving. You think that you're ready to have a good time and go for a swim, and then all of a sudden you're too cold to even get back on your board, or
right.
Something like that.
Yeah,
so
the water can take the air out of your lungs real quick if it's cold enough.
Now, this next question I have, can be answered by both of you, and maybe you both want to answer this. What do you feel could be some areas where we could improve Lake Chickamauga or the Tennessee River when people are having whatever water sport, whether they're in a boat or they're paddleboarding or swimming? What could the community do to maybe give a little insight to, government to, hey, this is a growing area, let's try to maximize the use of our resources we have? What could be some things that we could do to improve that area?
I think my first thing would be kind of get everyone on board with a common respect and then focus on the rules that are in place. Really, there's a lot of water traffic come the summer, and all kind of manual craft or swimmers or anything else in the water that's not powered by a motor is at risk by people in a hurry to get somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the vision that we've always kind of talked and throughout the community. I think I've heard a couple of times, but man, it'd be awesome to have a designated water space for swimmers and for along the riverbank on probably more side towards the Hunter Museum or something like that. But a waterway or a water trail that kind of follows that whole path would just allow so much.
A non-wake area.
Yeah. Non-wake or possibly just a buoy protected area,
okay.
Where traffic could be designated in that square, in that footage, width-wise, and then go on downstream, because really it is, it's almost a track or a road. It's kind of a bike share, or it would be like a water share program that we could hopefully develop in the future. And I think that just kind of goes up the line to our wonderful mayor and things like that, and an open discussion and see how we can make that all work with everybody.
Now, even though you're from two different organization types that uses the water ways that we have here, do you feel like that we get a lot of cooperation from county or city government?
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no doubt. I think that everybody's on board with Mary Burke's Get Fit program, and Hamilton County with the designation of some local attributes of land acquisition and land upkeep, and really the facilities that they've keep structuring, partnering with other companies to help build a recreation lifestyle with, is just really an amazing feat in itself.
Yeah, I think they really recognize the potential, or not even the potential. We see the potential in all this outdoor activity, obviously, and they're I don't want to even use the word capitalizing it, but they're maximizing it, to everyone's enjoyment. One of, I think, the biggest draws of this city is the lifestyle that you can live here. You can work at a tech company downtown and then just hop in your truck and go hiking or go climbing or go kayaking or fishing or running or cycling.
Anything. And the thing too is that's so wonderful about Chattanooga and companies like Chris. Again, it's getting people in the outdoors, and it's really creating a resort, a town. And I know that we're leaving from an industrial era, and those were great, huge monumental staples in building this wonderful town. And then it's even going further, with company stewardships like the North Chick Creek Conservancy, the Tennessee River Gorge Trust, and organizations like that, Wild Trails, that are basically fostering these lands and these waterways and all these things to really continue that outreach and that outgrowth in the resort community, and building a fun, active lifestyle for, hopefully for Chris's daughter, future generations, for sure.
Now, Chris, introduce your daughter, who is person that's really loving paddleboarding.
Yeah, this is my daughter. Her name is Juliet, and she's been paddleboarding for just about as long as I have. I have had, we've grown through, you'll be surprised how many life jackets you can go through for a growing little child.
Oh, I'm sure.
2.
Yeah.
2. Juliet, what do you like about paddleboarding?
I like going to the island.
Oh,
Yeah?
that's awesome.
So when you're paddleboarding, do you have a fear of falling into the water, or are you a good swimmer?
I'm scared of it that they fall into the water, and I'm probably going to be way behind because I'm not fast at swimming.
Ah. So do you see yourself continuing to paddleboard for a long time? Do you love it?
I like it.
You like it?
well,
All right.
Like is good enough.
So what grade are you in, Juliet?
2nd grade,
Second grade. Where do you go to school at?
CCS.
Okay. All right. Would you try to get other friends to go paddleboarding with you?
We try quite often, actually. It's we're I just found out that CCS offers some kind of surf club, so they don't do it at her age group, but as she gets older, we're happy to sponsor and get people out on the water.
Oh, awesome.
So Juliet, what would you tell your friends about paddleboarding? Would you tell them to try it out and have fun with me?
Yes.
All right. NoogaRadio Outdoors. We're glad you could be with us here, tuning in. Cindy will be back with you next Friday night for more exciting NoogaRadio Outdoors, and maybe Randy will be back then.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get you to come back.
Happy Friday, everybody.
News and information. Nooga
See you
Radio.
later.
Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.